Good morning. It is very early in the morning and the truck camper build starts now. You can see I've got the bike behind me there. That was the number one concern about building out this truck camper. I wanted storage back there, but then I've got the motorcycle back there, and then I realized if I have the motorcycle and I have storage, I've got a place I could probably sleep. I can go on a short weekend trip instead of taking the 36-foot long travel trailer with me. This is going to be pretty epic. Let's go get started building. Now this is the last time it's going to look like this. Gonna have the bike in its own new garage. I think the truck looks better with the bike in it. Looks like she's on the forklift. And there is the new camper shell installed. Looks pretty good. Well, we made it back to camp. Now it's time to start figuring out what to do with camper number 2. These doors on the side, they're called wind doors. Check this out, this is pretty slick. They're lockable, you can unlock them. Obviously that's what lockable means. And you can open them up. And then this part here has a screen on it and a sliding window. So now I can get a pass-through breeze that way too. Can't leave those open when I go down the road, might fly away. And then I put them on both sides so I can get that pass-through ventilation and enjoy the outdoors a little bit. And also so I can reach in and do things without having to climb in for half the stuff I need to do. And then on the 2024 model, this actually has a lock from your key fob remote. So I can keep this locked, and then I can lock the canopy here, and I can lock the 2 wind doors. I highly recommend if you're gonna get one of these things with how expensive they are and how long they're gonna last, that you get every single option on it that you can get. I don't get any affiliate commission or anything, so I'm not trying to oversell you here just to line my pockets and put food on my table. This has to do with the fact that it's harder to add these things back than it is to have them put in the first place. You can add them back. The wind doors are swappable and the rear door is swappable. And the front, I haven't even shown you the front yet. That's also one of those swappable things. Let's go take a look at that. So my truck doesn't have the rear sliding window on the truck itself, but this cap does, so I can get 4 directions of ventilation. But also it has this really cool feature. There's 1, and there's 2, and then it comes down so I can clean that window and this window too without having to take the cap off and get in between them. So this is going to be my like overnight or weekend getaway so I can go do some motorcycle campouts, which is why the motorcycle is in here. And so now I need to build out a camper, and I've had a couple of days to kind of think about this. I had some time to think about it ahead before all of this happened too, before I bought the cap. But now that I have the cap, like some plans have changed, some plans have improved, and some things are still just the way they were. So there are a lot of ways to get a motorcycle in and out of a pickup truck. There are folding ramps, there are non-folding ramps. You don't need a ramp, maybe you do need a ramp. There are the kind that I have where you put a aluminum wedge on the front of a 2x12 and you make yourself a wooden gangplank type ramp. And because of all of the compromises involved, I have to pick the best one that works in the compromise, not the best one overall. The best one overall would be a 9-foot or 10-foot folding ramp with solid surfaces, maybe a little bit of holes in it for traction, for added lightness, etc. But number 1, I don't have a 9-foot bed. Number 2, I want to be able to carry it in and out by myself. So this is my current ramp solution for getting the bike in and out. This is that aluminum plate I was telling you it goes on the end in order to hook onto the back of the tailgate here. And this is pressure treated lumber. And before y'all say it, I mean, you don't even know what the plan is yet, but I know you guys are gonna say something. Before y'all say it, I will not be using pressure treated lumber or storing pressure treated lumber inside of the truck under the cap because I'm gonna be sleeping in here and I don't need all the off-gassing. These boards I got as an emergency when I picked up the bike and picked up the truck when I got stranded in Colorado because the old truck gave out. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chop these up and use these for leveling blocks for the trailer, and then I'm gonna get non-treated 2x4s, 2x12s. And also, this thing is kind of twisted, and that's kind of a pain in the butt. So the plan is gonna be to get some new 2x12s and use those as the platform for the bed and also the top of the storage box that is inside on the passenger side. So if you look over your shoulder to see if there's clear traffic to the side of you, to the passenger side, you can look through this window here and see that there's no cars there, no trucks there, no nothing there. And then also the bike's not in the way. The bike is on the driver's side, and when you look out the driver's side, you're right at the window, so you don't hardly ever see it. You see it in the back, but you also see the entire cab, so not much I can do about that either. I don't yet know what these things are called, but I understand that they are swappable, and I can get motorcycle plates, motorcycle D-ring hooks there. I mean, that'll work as a hook too, but might not be easy to clip in and clip out with the motorcycle straps that I got there. So the strap will go up to there, which should be above the bed. I don't know how high I'm gonna have the bed platform, probably seating height, but also head height so that I don't hit my head on the canvas up top, the carpet up top. And I got that carpet up top because if I close the whole thing up, that's gonna help with condensation forming. It's gonna help do a little tiny bit of insulation, not much, but it's gonna help, and that matters. So head height to butt height is the important part, not butt height to deck height for my feet. I'd rather have my knees up than my head down when I'm doing that. 2 boards there, that gets me 2 feet to lay on, maybe 3 boards. I don't know, we'll have to get the 3rd board and kind of see. Maybe I'll do some measurements here in a minute. And then I've got all of this space here behind the bike, and I was thinking to myself, because that's what I call me, it would be a lot easier if I put a big toolbox at the front of the truck, storage area and whatnot, and brought the bike up to that, and then had the bike, the rear tire of the bike, all the way back here at the tailgate portion of it, within reason for closing the lid and all that other jazz. And that way, I don't have to get all that stuff out of all the storage all the time in order to get the bike out of the back of the truck. All that storage stuff is in the front of the truck, and then I can climb up in there or reach through the wind door and open up or whatever the case may be. And with the wind doors open and the back door open, it is not very claustrophobic in here, which is actually pretty cool. Claustrophobia is one of those things where you might not know you have it until you get yourself into a nice, tight, confined space and don't understand why you're unhappy with it. I'm pretty happy in here with all the light and the open and the air going through, and it's 80-some degrees in Arizona today, and it's not really all that hot in here. There's a nice breeze. Everything's working out pretty good. So this is my head. I'm sitting on the internal wheel well. It's still new. You can see maybe you can't see it, but you can see the snow coming off the roof, the fuzz coming off the carpet. This is a pretty decent height here. I've got that much room between the top of my head and the top of the truck. That doesn't allow for a ton of storage, but it's okay, because there's a problem with storage when you're towing things. I don't want to put a ton of weight back here, because that overall, that weight is my tongue weight for my trailer, and that tongue weight is made up of cargo carrying capacity and everything, which is the 2 of us, plus all of our goods in the truck, plus the 250-pound motorcycle. So this isn't too bad. I mean, I can only add that much more space under my butt if I have my head up here pretty high. Yeah. So maybe that height is fine, maybe a little bit taller in the front and a little bit of like a head ramp or something. I'm 6'2", the bed's 8 foot, so I have room in front to play with still, another 2-ish feet, almost 2 feet. All right, that was some work, but I have moved the bike as far back from the front of the truck as I could, and as close to the rear window as I could. There's still some gap between the rear tire and the tailgate. So I can get you a good angle here. Yeah, the camera is not picking it up very well, but there is plenty of room between the yellow top case and the back window. And then what that gives me from the front wheel to the deepest portion of the bed over here, about 19 inches of a span there. But then if you look over here, there's this little duck under thing here. And then there is the cap up here that has a duck under. And so that is probably 17 inches, 17 and a half inches or so. And then over here, from the bike to above the wheel well, greater than 3 feet. That's tough to do. More than 3 feet worth of space. And then the handlebar, which won't really be in my way, 23 inches from the handlebar over to the window. Kind of looks like there's not a lot of room there, but that's almost 2 feet of clearance. I'll just put a towel over it or something so when I sit up in the middle of the night, I won't bonk my head. Also, having that box in the front of the truck gives me the ability to pull the bike in and push it right up against that box so that it was a pain in the butt to kind of maneuver this thing around without any like stopping block on any side of it. And what I think I'm going to do with that toolbox is I'm going to get a small 2,000-pound winch and mount it to the top of the toolbox so that I can drag the bike up instead of having to muscle it up, which is doable but a pain in the butt, or throttle it up, which is doable but a pain in the butt for a completely opposite reason. I really don't want the bike to get away from me and, you know, go in too fast or not going fast enough or slip the belt or spin the tire or anything like that. So I think that's going to be some added safety is putting that on. And then I've got those storage boxes up in the front. I can get rid of some other storage boxes I'm already putting in here. Some of the things that I need to put in the back of the truck on travel days are the Ninja Woodfire grill, because we use the hell out of that thing. It is amazing. And the 6-foot folding table that it goes on. The 6-foot folding table I can probably get rid of and get 2 smaller roll-up camp style tables, one for the grill and one for the accessories, and then that would fit underneath the bench very easily. The grill itself will go on the sleeping bench very easily. That'll work out. So I think we're still looking at a pretty good win here. I mean, there's plenty of space. This is where I would be laying if I was all the way comfortably against the passenger side wall of the truck bed. And I've got elbow room on this side until I hit the strap over here, which isn't bad because the strap I would just, you know, the bike would be out if I was sleeping. Or if it was a quick sleep, I'd put up with it. Or I can disconnect 2 of these straps, any 2 of these straps, and the bike will still remain standing. I've got 4 straps, 4 corners, 2 straps on one side with a little bit of lean is going to be fine for the night, or 2 straps in the back holding it centered, or 2 straps in the front holding it centered. All of it's going to be fine. I haven't tried 2 opposite corners, but probably for a night's sleep, it'll probably be fine. And now I'm laying down, and I still have plenty of room over here to the side. Like, I can't even touch the bike until I get off camera. So, plenty of room in here. So, I think that'll work out. Future plans include having a diesel heater in here. The diesel heater itself isn't waterproof, so the heater unit is going to need to go inside the RV towards the back, towards the door to make it easier. I'm going to need clean air intake and cold air exhaust. I wonder if I do need clean air intake. There's enough holes in this truck bed. I mean, take a look at this. You can see daylight right there. And this is the way they're making the new 2024 models of this truck, is that the bed is not waterproof. Good enough, so I'll get plenty of fresh air in. I mean, even up here in the front corners where the front wall of the bed meets the bottom of the bed, there's a big gap there. There's another air gap there. You guys can see daylight through that. That's where the footholes are on the outside of the truck. People driving by wondering what this weirdo's doing sitting in the back of his truck. So I think that might be fine for clean air intake to feed the diesel heater and not starve me. And of course the exhaust will just go right out of some available hole. I'm seeing a hole right here where the tailgate meets the back. Or I can do something with the wind door over here to make an exhaust vent through that. But definitely going to get the exhaust out of the back of the truck with me, not to worry about that. So diesel heater for heat in the winter, won't need it during the summer, can put it up into warm storage because it won't be cold anymore. And one of those power stations from All Powers or another brand, I'll be doing some more testing on those guys, see if I can run the diesel heater off of the power station. Solar on the roof, probably foldable solar panels to begin with, because I want to find a pretty way to put it up on the roof. I can easily fit about 800 watts of panels with 4 200-watt panels each that are flat, flexible kind that would kind of fit the shape of the roof, but then putting them up would kind of, I don't want it to look bad. I want it to look nice because I got to drive this thing everywhere. So looking forward to some of your input and your experiences in the comment down below. Things that you wish you would have done when you built your truck camper that you didn't do, things you think I might be able to do a little bit differently, but ultimately there's probably more compromises than I've explained, and we're going to wind up with something that's kind of fun and useful. And most of the time I don't want to be in here. I'm not the kind of person that looks for a fancy 5-star hotel. I want to like go to bed at 9:30, 10 o'clock, wake up the next morning at 5:30, 6 o'clock, get on the road and go. So I need a clean bed and 4 walls and a roof, and I'm good. This would be a clean bed and 4 walls and a roof, so I should be good. Anything beyond that is creature comfort. Oh, I'm gonna have my own composting toilet in here too. So I'll get to get some information for you guys on A, how well composting toilets work, and B, how the smell is. I know you're all thinking it. So one more thing I gotta show you about this truck cap that kind of makes it a little bit better suited for this situation. Let's get outside and take a look. Make sure you're subscribed so you can see future updates on this build, and click that like button so that it tells the world to follow too. I'd appreciate it. Let's close up that guy there, and if we back up without tripping over anything, you can see the little bump up there. I was really excited when I picked this thing up because it had, I thought, a sunroof up there. Turns out when ARE invented these things, that was a really great idea for them too, but they couldn't make it waterproof. So now you get the pretty looking sunroof and absolutely no sunlight coming through there. It's actually solid fiberglass behind it and then carpet over the fiberglass as well. So that kind of stinks. But what I wanted to show you was I got the bump to give me an extra bit of height inside the truck cap. And overall, I think it looks pretty good. But then again, I spent about $4 grand on this truck cap. So I kind of have confirmation bias to make myself feel good that it looks good, whether it looks good or not. So let me know what you guys think. There is a video right over here I think you might enjoy next. I'll see you over there.